Have you ever wondered why it's critical to understand errors, uncertainty, and outliers in psychological research? Errors, uncertainty, and outliers. These three concepts may seem complex and intimidating, but they are fundamental to the field of psychology. They help us navigate the intricate world of human behavior and mental processes. And today, we're going to delve into these concepts and unravel their significance. Let's start with errors. In the context of psychological research, we often talk about two kinds of errors: systematic and random. Systematic errors are those pesky, consistent deviations from the truth. They might be due to an imperfectly calibrated instrument or an environmental interference that consistently skews the results in one direction. Random errors, on the other hand, are unpredictable variations that can be caused by a multitude of factors, from environmental conditions to slight alterations in procedure. These errors affect the precision of a measurement, creating a spread of readings. Now, let's move on to uncertainty. This term represents a lack of exact knowledge about the value of what we are trying to measure. The nature of human behavior and mental processes often involves psychological constructs that can increase the degree of uncertainty associated with such measurements. All scientific efforts are directed towards reducing this degree of uncertainty, but it's important to remember that it's an inherent part of the process, not a sign of failure. And finally, we have outliers, the readings that lie far from the other results. They might occur by chance, or they might be a sign of something unusual happening in your data. Rather than being automatically dismissed, these outliers need to be further analyzed and accounted for. So why is understanding these concepts so critical? Because each time we conduct a study or an experiment, we're not just collecting data. We're interpreting the complex, often messy reality of human experiences. And to do that effectively, we need to understand the language of errors, uncertainty, and outliers. As we delve into these concepts, we will unravel the complexity and significance they hold in psychological research. Let's first tackle the concept of errors in psychological research. In a nutshell, errors represent the difference between the measured value and the true value of what is being measured. It's crucial to differentiate between systematic errors, random errors, and personal errors. Starting with systematic errors, these affect the accuracy of a measurement. Systematic errors cause readings to differ from the true value by a consistent amount or by the same proportion each time a measurement is made. Picture a scale that's always off by 5 grams, whether you're weighing a feather or a brick. This could be due to observational error, imperfect instrument calibration, or environmental interference. Familiarity with the limitations of instruments and experience with their correct use can help reduce most systematic errors. On the other hand, random errors affect the precision of a measurement. They're present in all measurements except for those involving counting. Random errors are unpredictable variations in the measurement process, resulting in a spread of readings. Imagine you're timing a runner's sprint with a stopwatch, and each time you get a slightly different result. These errors could stem from limitations of instruments, environmental factors, and slight variations in procedures. The effect of random errors can be reduced by making more or repeated measurements and calculating a new mean, increasing sample size, or by refining the measurement method or technique. Lastly, personal errors include mistakes, miscalculations, and observer errors when conducting research. These are not included in reporting and analysis of data. Instead, the experiment should be repeated correctly. By understanding these types of errors, researchers can implement strategies to mitigate their impact on the study's results. For instance, systematic errors can be minimized through better instrument calibration, while random errors can be reduced by increasing sample sizes or refining measurement methods. Personal errors, on the other hand, can be mitigated through proper training and increased vigilance when conducting research. All of these measures can significantly improve the validity and reliability of psychological research, leading to more accurate understanding of human behavior and mental processes. Now, let's shift our focus to the concept of uncertainty in psychological research. Uncertainty, in essence, reflects our lack of exact knowledge about the value of the quantity we're trying to measure. In the realm of psychological research, this lack of exactitude is inevitable due to the diverse and complex nature of human behavior and mental processes. Think of uncertainty as a type of fog that surrounds our measurements. This fog may stem from many potential sources of variation, including the inherent variability of human responses, limitations of our measurement tools, and unseen environmental factors. When we measure psychological constructs such as emotions, motivations, or attitudes, this fog often thickens. These constructs, by their very nature, are not concrete and tangible like physical quantities. They are abstract, subjective, and highly susceptible to individual interpretation, thereby increasing the degree of uncertainty associated with such measurements. But don't let this daunt you. Uncertainty is not an enemy to be vanquished. Rather, it is a reality to be acknowledged and managed. All scientific pursuits strive to minimize this fog of uncertainty, to bring the world into sharper focus. Yet it's important to remember that some degree of uncertainty will always persist. Recognizing this inherent uncertainty allows us to interpret our research results with a degree of caution, to avoid making overly broad or definitive conclusions based on uncertain data. Recognizing the inherent uncertainty in psychological research allows us to interpret results with a degree of caution. Lastly, we turn our attention to outliers in psychological research. Outliers are data points that lie far from the majority of other results. Now, outliers are interesting creatures. Instead of fitting in neatly with the rest of the data, they stand out, sometimes dramatically. But why do outliers occur? Well, they may occur by chance, especially in larger sample sizes. Or they could be a result of measurement errors, environmental factors, or even unique characteristics or behaviors in the subjects being studied. In psychological research, outliers aren't just pesky points to be dismissed. In fact, they can provide valuable insights. For instance, an outlier could indicate a potential new direction for research, or it could highlight the need for improved data collection methods. However, it's also important to analyze and account for outliers. This could involve statistical methods, like calculating the mean and standard deviation, or it could involve qualitative analysis, like examining the characteristics of the outlier subjects. Remember, the goal in psychological research is to understand human behavior and mental processes, which are complex and diverse. So while outliers might seem like anomalies, they can actually be a crucial part of the puzzle. They remind us of the richness and diversity of human experience and challenge us to dig deeper and refine our understanding. Outliers, while seemingly anomalous, can provide valuable insights and should not be automatically dismissed.